Hi, Destiny. Thank you so much for joining us on Black Ink Cinema podcast.
No worries.
It's an absolute privilege, especially as a Black woman who works in telly. It's a privilege to have you on the show because I know the work and shift you have to put in to become who you are today. So before we discuss your classic film that you chose, we just want to get to know a little bit more about Destiny.
I basically got into directing because I've always loved film forever. I started off as a runner. And I think most people, especially directors and stuff, I think everyone should start off as a runner because you learn how to humble yourself. I find you'd find it difficult to have like a big ego on set and be shouty and stuff if you were once a runner. When I was a runner, I then got a job as a PA for Ngozi Onwora, who is another Black female director. She was the one. So a lot of people will say that I was the third Black woman to have a film theatrically released, right? Ngozi's the first one. So that's her. So I was a PA for her for a couple of years, and being a PA allowed me to travel a lot with her and go to film festivals and stuff. And the New York Tribeca Film Festival was my first exposure to filmmakers that were at my age, because I think I was 24 at the time. And I didn't know that you could be a director at 24. Like, I thought you had to be like old. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
So after that, I immediately got home and I pulled out the script that I'd written when I was at uni, which was a short film. And I sent it to she was a second AD at the time. She now trades, I believe, as a producer now. But I sent it to her because she was the first one to get me a job as a runner. And I said, look, man, I've got this short film and I'd love to produce it. I really want to produce it. And she said, let me produce it. You direct it. This is your voice. I think you'd be...
Nice.
Yeah, she goes, I think you'd be really good at it. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then I tried to get that made. I got rejected but I'm kind of glad I got rejected because it taught me that rejection is part of the job.
Yeah.
And I got rejected for good reasons because they actually gave feedback and they were like, I think a lot of it was because I had no showreel. Budget for it was quite substantial for a short film. And I think they were like, who is this we can't just give
hand over money.
Hand over, do you know what I mean? There's no showreel, there's nothing. So I was like, okay, cool. What I'll do then is that I'll go back and I'll write a shorter, a simpler short film. And I came up with tight jeans because of something my older brother had said once, because he literally did see someone with really tight jeans. He was like, I can man wear jeans that tight.
Sounds like my older brother as well.
Yeah, literally. Because everybody's older brother. Yeah. And I just found it really, really funny. And so I sort of built a world around that line and wrote tight jeans. And then I sent that to Tamina and I was like, what about this? We can go to a smaller fund and get this made as a showreel. Tight jeans was only supposed to be for a showreel.
Yeah.
And then I got the actors, which were brilliant. Some of them are doing really well now. And made that short film and had the time of my life. I loved making that short film. I was like, yeah, this directing thing is like, I'm about this. Yeah, I was like, I really like this. This is good stuff. And then when we cut the film, I really liked it, man. Like, I was like, I think this can be more than just a showreel. So I started sending it off to film festivals and stuff. Got rejected a fuck ton, like a lot. And a lot of film festivals, they charge you just to send a film in, which I think should be revised because a lot of us, we don't have any money. Like, most of us are broke. So fine if it's for features, but I feel for short films, either make it super cheap or free, maybe. I don't know. But I basically went, I'm saying this because I went broke sending it to film festivals. So I sent it to the London Film Festival and it was free. And I sent it on a whim because obviously that's a really big festival. So I was sending it to a lot of short film festivals and stuff. And then it got in. So part of me was just like, oh my days, I can't believe it. And then another part of me was like, I could have saved so much money.
It's my money.
Literally, it's free.
Yeah.
And then that's literally how the film started to garner a lot of noise and stuff, and people seem to really respond to it, which was wonderful. And then there was a lot of hype, but I'm afraid of hype because we all know what hype does to people and people's careers. So I was like, I need to get the next film done now. Like, I'm not trying to ride on this film for too long.
Yeah.
So I resent the other short film, The Park, to Film London, and then they were like, yeah. And then they were like, this is enough of a showreel, and gave me the money to make The Park, and then The Park got into all these other festivals as well. And The Park was a really good experience because it wasn't, it was harder than Tight Jeans and stuff. So there was new challenges, and so with every film or every TV show, whatever that I make, there's always new challenges, and I hope I'm always learning. That's the hope, that I'm never not learning. I did Coming Up because I wanted to see if I could direct something that I hadn't written.
Yeah. I mean, you've directed some amazing series like the Effing World, which has won a BAFTA. We're just going to give you a round of applause for that. Riviera, and you also appeared on one of my favorite docs, They've Got to Have Us, which I love. And also like Gone Too Far, which has become like a British cult classic and laid the foundation for some of these like really well-known actors that are doing so well for themselves. It's like Malachi and Leo, which I love. I love that film for its Britishness and its Londonness. For me, the star performance has to be Auntie. I call her Auntie. I don't even know. I don't even know what her name is, but it's Auntie, and I can't say anything else other than Auntie. And one of my favorite scenes is at the end when she's getting Yemi and everyone curtsies, which is just, you know that would happen no matter how bad you are, how rude girl you think you are. When Auntie comes through, everyone knows what position to take. Like, you need to
do. That's what you need to do. I loved the actors during that day. They all work because a lot of them are KGs and that and everything. Yeah, and they just naturally, instinctively did it. And I was like, "This."
That wasn't us. They just
some of them. They're supposed to be like. They're supposed to be like standing, Auntie, is everybody just be quiet. Yeah. But then they just started, some of them just started to like...
and the variations as well. Don't think the variations was missed on me. I saw different...
Did you see them all? Like, it was like,
that was not me. I loved it. I had a few favourite scenes in there. The scene when Eddie Caddy and Razor was in the studio, like, I just laughed so hard, so much at that scene. I don't know if I'm meant to laugh that hard, but the F song, which is I'm still waiting for the track. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm still waiting.
I love those guys. I was laughing I was scared that you would hear my laughing on the sound, like, because I remember exactly where I was as well, like on the other side of it, dying, because you can't have people like Eddie Caddy and KG in the same room.
Funny. Like, they just are funny people. They
really are.
They're just funny people. And Eddie's got that gift as well of just like cracking you up just by saying.
So funny. There are things he would say and the others would have to like hold it. Because Eddie Caddy was good people. So I'd really like to work with him again. I'd like to work with so many of them again. Yeah. They were good and they were funny, but they were good actors, man.
They professional,
very professional, very kind of like, they just knew what was up, and it was just a really warm. I remember that, just laughing my ass off, man. It was so funny, and I'm glad that film is. I'm really, because it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to Bolo as well, to have got that Bola Baje, who wrote it.
Yes.
To have got that movie made, because it was really difficult to get it made. A lot of people were saying things, black cast won't sell. The usual that black people are told.
Of course.
So just the usual. I don't even want to go into it too tough because everybody's
so funny. They say it won't sell until we sell, and then they're like, "Oh."
But sometimes they still say it. I'm like, I don't understand. My friend quite eloquently called it like a reset button.
Exactly.
It's like a reset. Just go back to the default.
It's like no, that didn't happen. Nope.
It's weird, But I'm really glad that it found its audience, and I'm happy. And it's on Netflix now, which I'm really happy about. So I'm really glad it's available. If people want to watch it, they can.
Oh, they will, for sure. You should be so proud of the legacy you've created and are continuing to create. And I Cannot wait to see more of your work. We're here to celebrate Black cinema, and you chose one of my faves, which we actually screened back in August, Set It Off, with A. Fox, Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett, amazing cast. Why did you decide to pick Set It Off?
This was a classic in my household. This was a film that we played constantly. For me, it's one of the best sort of heist movies that I've ever seen. The very few have come close. Very few have had a bunch of Black women do it in the lead. I don't think any have.
Now, I will. If there's more, please let me know, because I will watch.
Unless because I've missed it. But I think the performances were excellent. I thought the story was brilliant. I felt that the ending was really brave. There are very few things that I watch where the ending is bold. Like, you've got like the Velma and Louise, but even Velma and Louise, which is a great film, but even that ending, as tragic as it was still sort of hopeful. You know what I mean? It still felt like they won. Yeah. Whereas Set It Off, it just didn't. Like,
tragic. It's so tragic.
I was just like, what? How? It really, it stayed with me, that film, because it was about so many things. It was layered. It was about the treatment of Black women. It was about the marginalization of Black people in general. It was about sort of gender roles. It was about, misogyny and how people are treated. And it was about these women that felt that, the world has fucked them, so fuck the world. And everyone has felt that way. And I never looked at them as criminals or opportunists. These that were just like, look, we live in a world that takes and takes and takes and takes and takes, especially with Jada Pinkett's character, because if you haven't seen it, there's a tragic scene. Like, that scene for me was the impetus for everything, because I was like, at that point, I'm burning the world, fam. Like, I'm not.
For sure.
I thought that was brilliant. I love that, because her character at first, I felt more so connected to her character, because I remember just thinking, like, I am that person who's like, everything for me is a setup. Yeah. Because once you live in a place where you feel we live in a country that's not designed for us as Black people or Black women to succeed. It's not designed for us to do it. So every time we do it, it's like it's a big thing. Like, because it's not. So knowing that, you just feel like everything is a slight trap. At least I did. So her character was the one I kind of like had the most the affinity with, because she was just like, no, I'm not robbing no bank. I'm not doing this. Straight and narrow. But when you take her world from her, which is what you do with any human being, it is that kind of, well, what is there?
What's the point? The system.
There's nothing left to lose. And also, it's like the system did it. The system took from her. So why shouldn't she take from the system? I remember watching that going, I completely understand that. Like, I know what that is. And this is not me advocating for like bank robbery or anything like that.
Please don't go and steal. Exactly. But I think also we're just used to seeing the system, as we've seen even up to recently, just completely do us over. And people get charged for a damaged wall and not the human that they killed. So,
it's there.
I'm burning some shit.
It's there. No, it's there. That outcome for me was the one that I couldn't even quite process. I still don't think I've processed it. Yeah. And I think, I won't speak on this too much, but the way that her murder was differentiated from the murder of Black men, from people in our community that was saying, no, that one was different. Let me know everything I need to know about where Black women stand in this world, because I genuinely, sadly believe that, and I don't want to, well, no, actually, this is on topic, so fuck it. I was just like, I just think Black women, when we stand alone. I think, and that's why I think it's so important for us to connect with each other and become in our diversity and in our individualism, become a monolith of change. Like we are and a monolith of hope and a monolith of, I saw this. I saw obviously, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris and all of that stuff is gone. And whether you like Joe Biden or not, it was never really about that. It was just about getting the previous, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it had nothing to do. No, Joe, don't get gassed. It had nothing to do.
It's just like, I think, Joe's tried to run like 2 or 3 times. This was about a lot of things, a lot of other things. But I did love when Kamala Harris said, or Kamala, excuse me, said that
her speech was great.
She said Black women are the backbone of the democracy. And it's the first time I've ever heard anybody speak the truth like that.
Yeah.
Because it's Black women it's like Black women are saving, almost like saving Americans from themselves. Black women are saving the world right now. Like it's always Black women leading these marches or leading these, and there's little to no thanks. So that little acknowledgement, I heard that and I felt that, and I just thought, yes, a lot of Black women, particularly Black American women, are just, they are magic. And then you've got all the Black women and men actually in Nigeria marching at the front. Like it sometimes it does feel like we're always fighting, like everywhere in the world. There's no place in the world safe for us.
So I was like, can we just do
time out? You know what I mean?
Can you let me get over that trauma before you just pile on another? And as a millennial, I'm like, I'm actually sick and tired of living through world events. I'm done. I would like a decade of just nothing. Literally nothing happens. Just stillness. I'll be very, very happy with that, because it's like only so much. I'm gonna have to put myself in, see a therapist soon, because
I think it's a wonderful thing to do it. I think me and my friend was talking about that. I think Black people should be, I know within our different cultures, the therapy is kind of looked down at to do what, you know what I mean?
No, but I think if there's any group that needs to really seek the most therapy, it's the Black community needs to seek the most therapy. With the group dynamic from Set It Off, did it remind you of anyone in your group setting? Did anyone have there was like the thuggish one, the professional one, the cute one, the innocent one, almost like Spice Girls, but was there
almost like exactly.
almost like Spice Girls?
I think when I first saw that film, I believe I was in secondary school actually, and so a lot of me and my friends, we were kind of similar, and that's the thing. It's that wonderful song that I'm Every Woman in it, because you can find yourself in every one of them. So I was like the one that was like, I just didn't want to do anything criminal or anything kind of like Jada's character. But then in terms of my aesthetic or whatever, I was probably more like Queen Latifah. In terms of and the way that I carried myself, which is why I loved it so much, I was just like, this is how I kind of want to. And there's a lot of connotations with that, with how people assume your sexual identity and your kind of, which I find kind of bizarre, to be honest, because I just feel like, I just find aesthetics with what you do in your personal life quite strange, because people have I don't know. I don't see why if there was ever a style icon that I had or someone that I just looked at and with wide-eyed, it was Grace Jones.
Oh yeah.
And Grace Jones to me now, even I've got artwork of her all over my house because I need to see her at every turning point. So when I come out of the bathroom, she's right there. And when I come out of my living room, she's right there.
Absolutely really legend. Yeah.
She's just incredible. And I find that there was something in terms of what we perceive to be masculine and in terms of what we perceive to be feminine. She was both. And I was like, that's me, man. That's how I was going to carry myself in this life. And I felt that Queen Latifah's character in Set It Off had sort of that sort of like androgynous kind of.
There's always been a whispers of her sexuality, and was reading something about her having to talk to her younger brothers about the film when it was going to come out, to explain to them that she's going to play a gay character, and she just wanted to give that character some some honor and, represent, a Black gay woman in the best way that she kind of could.
Yeah.
And which I just thought was so like heartwarming. Like, one, she had to even sit down with her brothers and explain that to them.
Yeah.
But do that, give them the heads up that you might get picked on because I'm playing this, especially in the Black community. And I thought that was very like forward thinking of her to kind of preempt those reactions. And obviously Queen Latifah, there's, she hasn't come out, I don't think, and said that she's gay, but there's always these...
I don't think she's come out, but in a way, I found it quite odd that she was pressured to, because I just feel like, why is that anybody's business? She's never hidden herself or how she's never hidden her family or her relationship. She's just doing her thing. And I think we should lay off of that a little bit, this pressure that gay people have to officially come out, because 100%. Straight people don't have to officially come out. Like, I've never had to say, guys, I really like I really like Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie. Like, I've never had to do that. I'll do it, but
I'll tell you every minute.
You know what I mean? I've never had to do that. So
for sure.
I love that woman so much, man. I just think she's a phenomenal actress, and I think that film was forward thinking in its depiction of a gay woman and a Black woman, and of all four of those women. They were just, you never get to, Black women never. I was speaking to an actor friend of mine, and I said to her, I was watching a show that I absolutely loved, by the way. It's called P-Valley.
Oh, I'm going to write that one down.
Listen, I found it by accident.
Where is that?
No promotion. Amazon Prime.
Okay. Amazon as well has so many shows that you'll just stumble across it by accident.
Yeah, I literally stumbled. I liked the neon, the title had a neon light. So I was like, oh, that looks had no idea what it was. I've never heard of it. I literally went because I liked the colours of the titles. And then I went on it. It is I went to my sister. I knew my sister must have. I was like, are you watching P-Valley? She was like, of course. I love that. It's about these strippers and this kind of...
Oh, cool.
I loved it. It's black. It's black. Like, it's...
Black. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I love learning, finding new shows to watch. So that is on the list for sure.
No, do it, because it doesn't. What I love, also, there's all these women are behind it. All the directors were women. It's created by a woman, Black woman. Do you know what I mean? And it was just, I know unapologetically is used so much, but it's the only thing I can think of now. It's just unapologetically what it is. Nobody's trying to be anything other than what they are. And what I love is that you've got all these different shades of Black women, and you've got, it starts to subvert things. So, because I obviously, when I started watching it, I was just like, is the Black woman is the darker one going to be the angry Black woman against this light skin? No, not at all. That's like, keep watching. It's not that.
That's because the people who have written it and who are behind have given these characters way more makeup in terms of who they are as characters, rather than you just represent that and you just represent that.
You just represent.
Yeah, just very lazy. And for example, that's what I love about Vivica's character in is that she's the professional one who I love her performance in this anyway, who by the end of it is like the baddest bitch in town. Like,
what I loved about her character, right, was that she was I loved that, first off, she was from around the way, she's from where she's from, and made it to become that professional one. She worked her arse off and she got there. Yeah. That I loved. But what I loved more, because I think if this film was made today, I think people would go to be really extra with it and make her like...
take her out from the hood.
So they would take her out from the hood.
And you shouldn't. Because there is a lot of us that are still in the hood that have to code switch. Okay?
Exactly.
So,
do you know what I mean?
Which is more relatable and normal for what we have to do on a daily basis.
Exactly. And also, I think what's more pressing and more kind of important to stress is that there's this idea that if you are Black and you've quote unquote made it, whatever that means, or it becomes a professional, whatever, becomes successful, whatever that is, in your world, that somehow you are not a product of maybe an impoverished environment somehow, right? So if you've made it, or you're making films, or you're the head of the bank or whatever, then you couldn't have possibly come from New Cross or Deptford or whatever. You must have been raised by these white people in these white areas of these white, because that's how come you're so smart. Whereas I'm just like, no, but I know black women that,
and you're
one of my best friends is from Tottenham, but it's Tottenham, old school Tottenham, and went to Oxford. So I'm just like, what are we saying here? That if we are I'm still a product of Southeast London. Proudly a product of Southeast London, right? And I'm doing what I'm doing. And so it wasn't because I was plucked out.
And that's why people be able to relate to that. And you would be able to inspire a lot more people, because they're like, rah, she's from the ends and she's doing. It's like, okay. And that's where that seeing and doing thing comes from.
Yes, exactly. And just know that you can come from anywhere, come from anything. And it doesn't make it also, I don't like the demonization of where I'm from necessarily, because I had a dope time when I was growing up.
I mean, exactly. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really realize I was working class until I entered the working space, and I was like, oh,
yeah, it's like people live like that. You had what? How many acres?
Why have you got a tennis court in your garden?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, I get this. Cool. We learn about Vivica's character is that she was coached by Will, because this was in and around the time she did Independence Day.
Oh, yes.
Which I love, as well as one of my
come on, that's a classic. That's not even disputed, I don't think.
And which I thought was quite cool, because I'm sure there's a scene where she's running and it kind of looks like Will, because he has a very way of running. So I was like, that makes sense. I see it. And she has a very strong presence. Another thing that I did like was the relationship between Jada and Blair Underwood, and how in that, even though he's like this suave, handsome, got it together guy, in their relationship, she's the alpha. You don't often see that. He's not afraid of her alphaness. He's not scared away. He kind of just finds it endearing and a bit cute.
And first off, it was wonderful to just see, although at that time there was a lot of black films coming out where you would see black love and see black romance. What I loved about, who are you going to get that's better than Blair Underwood in the 90s? Do you know what I mean? To do romance, you know what I mean? He was just beautiful. He still looks the same, actually. Yeah. It's just beautiful, beautiful man, but also had this beautiful presence in that movie, which was necessary, because he was the quiet to her storm. He showed her love and beauty in a world that was so dark for her. And that's what I loved. I loved that there was this man, this beautiful man, that was showing this near broken woman that she's still whole. And if she ever falls, he'll be there. It's not necessarily, he's not her. She can stand on her own. Yeah. But if you do stumble, I'm here. I've got you. Yeah. And I loved that. He didn't try to change her. He didn't. I thought it was really well written and well directed in that sense. And I felt there was nobody more perfect to play that role than Blair Underwood. And that's what I loved about that relationship. And that phone call at the end was beautiful in its quietness and its silence. And it didn't it didn't do this typical ending or whatever. It was, she really was sending him that phone call to say how much she appreciated what he did. And it wasn't all about me just trying to rob no bank. It was you helped me, because that, knowing that there's love like that in the world for an individual is what's going to help her heal, because this woman just lost her brother and her 3 best friends. Yeah. There ain't no tragedy more than, very few tragedies that are more than that. And so knowing that there is love, somebody loved her for her in the world, she can go anywhere in the world and kind of know that. And that can be a strength without her being some damsel and him saving her, which is, again, another thing that I absolutely loved about that movie. But it's just, I love it. It's a classic, and I feel like it should be held up a lot more. It really is just one of the best heist movies. Just on a genre level, forget all the layers that we just describe, like just as a genre.
Was so good, you know. And I think the reason why I love Blair's character is his positive Black masculinity. Like it was so layered, and especially at that time there was a lot of like hood films coming out and a lot of like thug films, and it was just like, oh, look at this nice man, just normal, like a normal nice Black man, and he's not aggressive and he's not this. And it was, especially at that time for me, it was nice to see that representation, and he encompassed all things positive for me. And I was just like thankful that F. Gary Gray made that decision. And made it, because he was like leading man material. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you wanted. You never really got to see that in Black men that were kind of kind, you know, and not too smooth. Because I don't like it when they're too suave. Again, that's another like stereotype that I just thought, who would listen to this? Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand it. I don't know why that's become a thing. It's just like, as a grown-up, how would you buy this? Like, it doesn't quite work. I think you've got to be young to buy that. I think. But once you're past a certain age, I'm like, oh, this is just talk, you know? And I like that he just didn't, all of that was absent. And I felt like, where is Blair Underwood now? Now that we're thinking about it, me and Adam were literally thinking the same thing. And I think this new series, is this your favourite Jada and Queen Latifah's performances? I
must admit, I think I've probably seen more of Queen's work than Jada's. I think Jada Pinkett took a break for a really long time. So I only really saw her in this. And
I know when we screened it in August, they were like, what, wait, Jada acts? Like they were legit like unaware that she had a whole acting career.
Wow.
And I was like, this is true. I grew up on this. Yeah, I grew up on this Jada. I don't. Yeah. This is the Jada that I know. And so it was very like nice to see that we played a part in educating people.
Some people.
Of Jada.
And Jada was good. She was good, man. She was really, really. I remember she was like the actress. Like, she was the one. Like, especially amongst us Black kids. Like, it was Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
But then I think she took a break, so I don't actually know a lot of her work. So this for me is Jada's magnum opus. Like, this is the one for me. And Queen just kept on getting. But I think this is my favorite character from Queen Latifah instead of, because I just loved Dana. I loved that character. I loved her.
I was genuinely scared. I believed this character. I loved this character. I loved her erraticness. I loved her passion. Like everything was done with like so much passion.
Exactly. And I just thought, and she just had that edge that I love. There's that brilliant scene, and kudos to the director for this. It's just, and it stays with me. When the woman is trying to, Queen Latifah's character is in a lineup, and the woman on the other side is trying to identify her. Got the tag, like the woman's details in her pocket, like saying, "Say my name, bitch, and I'll come to see my people come for you." So she's trying to say, and she does it without any. It's just all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes. There's no dialogue, nothing.
I was shook over here.
I was shook for the woman. I was like, don't say it. Like,
Although there were some like great performances, there was a few cameos, or the cameo, Dr. Dre.
You know what? I think for cameos and stuff, it's fine. Like, because you kind of know what So it's like, I think,
especially when it comes to rappers, it's like we allow them. It's like, it's fine.
It's we know fine. You're not gonna be we know why they're there, and we know what the history is. It's a pop quiz question, and it's fine. They know that they're not trying to go for the Oscar. We all know it, so it's fine. Also, I think sometimes it can add legitimacy to your work, to your project. Yeah. So in a way, it kind of adds weight sometimes. As long as it's a cameo and everybody knows why they're there, I think it can be quite fun sometimes. Vivica obviously went off to a career. I love her in this and as in Kill Bill.
Oh, her character
Vivica in Kill Bill was, I don't know It's a shame that the industry is set up the way it is, because an action career should have come after that for
1,000,000%.
For sure.
She was so good.
So good.
And they're talking about obviously the next Kill Bill and possible, like,
is that gonna happen? Like, I'm like, is that happening?
Because I love it. And you know me, I'm down for a revenge story. And
yeah, same.
What? You tried to take me out on my wedding? No, okay, we're
same. I think that's one of the best revenge flicks there is. It's Kill Bill. Kill Bill for me.
With all of its blood and gore, I'm here for it. F. Gary Gray, I love how he went from an out-and-out comedy like Friday on to do an action thriller like Say It All.
Yes.
And I think that shows the variation that he has in his locker to kind of just like whip out two classics like that. If we're just talking about these two films, let alone all the other films that he's done.
I think F. Gary Gray is one of the few directors that gets better and better.
Yes.
I think a lot of the times you find that directors, well, it's my biggest fear, they might peak. People talk about the golden age of a certain director or whatever. Yeah. But I watched Straight Outta Compton, and I was like, this is excellent work.
I loved that film.
This is excellent work. And that's where I don't even think I knew he was the director when I went to watch it. So I was expecting something else. I don't want to like dog on any other films and stuff, but when I went to watch Straight Outta Compton, because I don't like watching trailers.
Yes, I don't like watching trailers. Oh
no, they give too much away these days. Is this spoil it?
Yeah.
I think I might have seen a teaser or something, and that's all I was going to watch. So I did that thing that a lot of us do when we just go and just support.
Yes.
Like I didn't know it was his movie.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know.
I didn't know. I was watching that film like I was learning when I was watching it. Like I was enjoying it, obviously, and I was in it, but I was also learning. And so when I saw his name after, I was like, of course. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So good at storytelling. I just found the storytelling in that was so good. I was really engrossed and invested in those characters. They're based on, real people, but it was just those characters in particular. I was just like,
but he made them 3-dimensional for us. At the end of the day, I don't know none of us know these people.
Exactly.
So you've got to humanize them for us. A lot of them are like in the ether for us. They're like pantheons or something. You've got to kind of humanize them. And I think what F. Gary Gray is able to do is he never, ever, ever forgets about the importance of the performances. It doesn't matter how flashy or whatever that you make your film. If the performances ain't there, then you've got nothing. When I think about Set It Off, I don't think about the style. I don't think about none of that stuff. I literally think about certain scenes in which the actors have just blown it out of the water and why that scene works. And if you've done your job as a director, everything becomes it harmonize. It becomes there's a harmony is set up because the camera is facilitating the story. The actors are facilitating the script is facilitating the actors. That everything aligns, and so you're not really looking at. I dread to be in a film and watching it for the first time, going, that camera move or that lens. I don't want to forget. I don't want to think about any of that stuff when I'm watching a movie.
No,
and if I enjoy a movie, I won't notice any of it. I'm just in it.
You just want to get lost. For me, like you, I'm sure I watch movies just to get lost in it.
I just want to get lost. It's escape. If I start noticing the filmmaking, I'm not enjoying the film. Know that. I start to study films after I've seen it for the first time.
Exactly.
And then I want to know why I liked it. So I'm just like, what was it about this film that let me go back to that scene and look at it properly, and what made that, why did the director stay on this person when that person was talking? What were the decisions made? I tried to do that, but only after I've fully watched and enjoyed the movie to the best of my ability. And I think F. Gary Gray gets the phenomenal performances, often some of the best performances because sometimes you see the actors in other things and it's not as good or doesn't have the same not that any of these actors have been bad in anything else, because we just named a few that they weren't, but there's a certain gravity they tend to have in his movies.
Sure. I love
maybe it's because they connect with him on a deeper level. I don't know, but he's able to get just these wonderful performances from them. And And then they go off to flourish. Like Queen after that was like just an actor as well. Because Queen, my first introduction to Queen was most people's, which was the music. It was the music.
It's
I just loved it for that.
Today would have no idea again that she was
and it's
a serious rapper, like an absolute beast. So
like one of the best. She was one of the best. Not one of the best
it's females. It's a bit unfair to be
best.
that good at rapping and acting at this. I think just come on. Share the love.
Leave some stuff for others,
Come on, Queen, like chill a little bit. I'm sure you've thought about this, but if they had the chance to not remake, but let's say redo, say off in a TV series, for example, or more of a sequel rather than a remake, because God knows I hate a remake. And you directing, of course, who would you cast as the four main characters, and of course as Blair's character?
It's really difficult, because I think this came up once. I think, I don't know who it was. I think it might have been my brother we were kind of talking about, because I think there was talks about a remake of Set It Off, and we were just dead against it. Like, why would you do, like, if there's going to be like a sequel or a TV series or something, and it's different people, then but like the world of Set It Off, that could be a lot of fun. But a dead-on remake would just be like, you can't do that. No. So along those lines of like a sort of like the world of Set It Off, but it's 20 years later or whatever, I think maybe Letitia Wright.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I literally said Letitia Wright, but more for Tashawn's character.
The sweet one?
Yeah. I don't know why I'd see that be anything. Who would you want her to play? It's
funny because I want to see, because Letitia is so like multi-layered, right? And so I'd probably subvert it somehow. I'd probably make a Queen's character or something. Like, I love that. Just to see what it would look like.
Oh no, 100%. I'm with you on that.
Because Letitia is really one of the sweetest, warmest human beings that I've come into contact with. But I think I would want to just be like, well, what do you look like when you're like, what is, or when you're like, I
actually thought if like on those levels, Zendaya would be good for Cleo in terms of, I don't know if you've seen Euphoria.
I have.
Yeah, I quite liked that different side of her, and building upon that character, seeing her, quite gritty would be interesting.
She is quite gritty. She is quite. I think she'd be quite good, and she'd be good in that. Actually, I think she can kind of. But I think I would want to. I don't know, like, okay, so who else? Well, this is the tragedy of it all, right? Like, there's not that many. It would have to be a fine. Okay, no, for fun, let's keep playing, because this is I like games.
And also because depending on who you go with, you have to keep the ages quite similar.
Exactly, you've kind of got to.
We were like Stoney as well could be a Lupita, but then you would have to change the other lot.
You'd have to
age. It wouldn't.
Do you know what? There's this actress in P-Valley,
right?
She's a real find. I don't know her name. I should know her name, but she plays. I think they call her like the Black Barbie in the show. She's ridiculous looking. She's beautiful. But what I like about her character in P-Valley is that she's quiet. Black women, particularly Black dark-skinned women, never get to play like the quiet sort of mousy character that finds their voice or whatever. It's always Angry Black 1 or Angry Black 2. Like, it's never that.
Yeah.
And I just found that I gravitated towards her character a lot because of that. I think she would be incredible. She would play the sweet one. She could play Titi.
Oh, I've seen her. So I just had to quickly Google. She's gorgeous. She does look like a Barbie, doesn't she?
Right. She's just... So I think I would have Tisha as Eva, Stoney, or maybe Cleo, maybe Stoney. But Stoney has there's so many layers.
Yeah.
And I think Letitia would kind of body that.
Yeah.
And then who else? Okay, Frankie.
There's also Tessa Thompson.
Say again?
Tessa Thompson.
Oh, Tessa Thompson, she's good. She could be Frankie.
Frankie, yeah, she'll be a good Frankie.
I think Cleo would have to be the find because I just don't know anyone.
I think you'd have to start with Cleo and then work.
I think, exactly that. I think you'd have to cast around who you found for Cleo because I think there's, as we know, like there's only one Queen Latifah, and what she brought to that was...
Until this day, to me, she may act in all these other movies, but she'll forever be Cleo. To me, like that's all I see. Kane Rose,
just
she
embodied that role.
She
man.
completely killed it. Yeah,
it's the role that she made her own. Like truly, truly made her own. Like to the point where it'd be very, very difficult to
recut.
I don't know of any actor
like this character would have to look completely different. And not have those mannerisms or anything like that because you just can't. So because you can't touch it, just do something.
Just do something else.
For those weirdos that haven't had a chance to see Set It Off, if you had a scene to direct them to on YouTube, what scene would it be to entice them to watch the movie?
There's a scene where they're all sitting on the roof of a house.
Love that
scene. It's a beautiful scene and it's shot beautifully.
One of my favourite scenes.
Yeah, just the
dialogue
scene, just these two, the Strictly Dickly, like it's
just a bunch of friends, hanging out.
And you don't see that a lot. One of my first short film was literally just that. It's people sitting on a wall talking. There's something so mysterious about scenes like that I find they're almost dreamlike. And I love that. And it was a lovely, quiet scene. And I think a lot of the times in action movies and stuff, that would be like the first scene to get cut.
Yes.
Because it's like, no, we've got to keep, but without the understanding that you need moments of quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
For us to even appreciate the crash bang wallop.
Yeah.
Especially a film like this that was ultimately about friendship and about those the have-nots just trying to have something,
and you've seen that scene's had because you'll see people have redrawn it. There's cartoon versions. People have remade it.
Yeah, people have done exactly.
It's iconic, and you know exactly what scene it is and where it's from, and who's playing what character. I've always said if I'm going to a fancy dress, that would definitely be the look.
Did you see those children? The little black girls that were dressed like...
it's actually the cutest thing ever.
In the world.
So cute. So cute.
Just the best. It was the best. The little Cleo killed me. I mean, that was it.
It was like a fun one. I can see myself doing that one day as a parent, to be fair. Like,
without a doubt. I'd be like, it has to be. It's just, definitely that scene. I think everything you need to know about directing is in that scene.
And maybe one of the earliest robbery scenes, just to kind of get an idea. It's a heist movie.
It's a heist, yeah.
Yeah, just to give that bit of action because I think there was a lot of comedy. It's like when they're robbing the banks and stuff and it's like Tashawn doesn't want to go in and like hiding behind.
I think it's definitely the one that goes wrong. I give them, but not the wrong one.
Not the wrong one, but it's quite hilarious. And I know it's supposed to be like a serious part that there's comedy in it.
No, but I like that. The director went with that, and the writers as well. Like it can't all be doom and gloom. You've got to lend yourself to some levity at times because that film gets very, very dark.
Exactly.
So you don't want to have people depressed the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a comedy of errors with a bunch of novices trying to rob a bank. Like there's going to be. So I like that. They had those moments, but bloody hell, that film stayed with me, man.
It's a roller coaster of emotions for sure.
Yeah, I had the soundtrack and everything. I used to bang it every day. It's just such a sick. And the thing, what I loved about the soundtrack, they got people to write songs that were directly tied into the movie. So I remember there was this one that was like, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like, this is a raid, everybody lay down, behave. Like that I used to write down the lyrics to that. The whole song was a raid. It was a robbery. And they had, I don't know who these rappers were. I'm going to have to find them now. But the writing was so dope. Like I felt like I was on an adventure listening to that track. And I find now in music in general that there's no storytelling in music anymore.
Oh, honey, this is where we're showing our age. This is.
Yeah, I know, because
I literally say this. I'm like, what's the story? I don't feel it. I got a feeling.
It's not to say it's bad, but it's there needs to be a balance. You need to have. Where's the storytelling gone in music? I just find it really odd.
There used to be the days where like you would want to learn the lyrics to a track because it was so good. You're like, I can't be caught sleeping not knowing the words to this.
Exactly.
Whereas now I passively listen. It's very.
I don't know the words to anything now. Like nothing.
I just make them up. It's whatever comes out that's what you're gonna get.
Do you remember when You Make Me Wanna by Usher got released, which is probably around the time of Set It Off, I think. I remember writing down every lyric because I wanted to know if he was going to stay with his girlfriend or go with
so invested.
New girl. Like, because it's that I can't sing, but it's that bridge part. Like, I sing it to myself anytime something stressful happens. I go, at this point, the situation's out of control. Every time something bad happens, that song will come to my head.
You know what's funny now? Now when I think of you and I think you might be stressed out, I now think you're going to be singing that song.
That is what I'm going to be doing. Literally.
And now, to be fair, I might join you on that. I might join you.
Like, it works. Like, I'll be by myself when I do it. I'm just like, at this point, well, the situation's out of control. Like, it gets me through the day. But I remember that bridge was like, I think it was me and my brother were like, so what, is he going to cheat on his girlfriend? Like, there was real storytelling in it.
I love it.
And I just find that maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't hear that. In music today. I'd love to hear more, especially for soundtracks, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially for soundtracks, I'd love to.
And if you do hear those, they're very few and far between. Like, there's not that many around. And so maybe that's why sometimes when I hear a song and I'm like, oh my God, this person actually wrote lyrics.
Yeah, and a story to it, to make you feel something.
I can understand what they're saying.
Yeah, like you really want to know, what happened and what it's about, and is this person, is that? I think Beyonce does it a little bit. She's put some storytelling in her music nowadays.
B is Queen Bee, so
yeah, so it's just like
she's not really. She's not. It's not fair to compare, you know.
Yeah, she started doing that like in the later years, like I think with the release of Beyonce and stuff, I really cared about those lyrics. Like I was trying to figure out I thought, and then, but I want to hear a song that is literally A to Z, a story. Okay, 2 things I want listeners to do today. Right, watch Set It Off, and then, 3 things then. So listen to the Set It Off soundtrack, watch Set It Off, but also watch and or listen to the song Hazard by Richard Marx, because that to this day, when I say I was a child when that came out, I think I was like 10, 11, whatever, and I watched that music video like it was a movie. It's brilliant. It's when music videos were short films. If you can remember that part.
The good old days. Destiny, I have to say, I love how you're the first guest to come on and give us an extensive homework list, which I'm down for. Love it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, by the way. It's been so much fun.
It's been great. I feel like I've known you forever. We're just having a good old chin.
Remember Usher's song?
Like we were there.
We were rolling. Like,
and my cheeks are hurting from like laughing so much.
I know, mine too.
They've been stuck like this all evening, just stuck. It has been an absolute honor speaking to you and really delving into your mind and speaking to someone who loves Set It Off as much as I do, growing up, watching it a million times and also screening it with a modern audience was so nice to kind of see their reactions. I can't wait to see more of your work. Huge fan.
Thank you.
And just wish you the very best. And I hope your 2021 is superb.
Yours too, man. I hope it for the world.
For the world.
Don't need any more of this.
No, we're just going to sweep this one away.
Get your hands on a Gin and Tonic G&T box. Enter the promo code BLACKINK for an exclusive 10% discount on your order. Gin and Tonic. Sustainable Urban Gin.